Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a video that is very different from what I normally do, and I haven't done a tag in absolutely ages, but I thought since most of the stuff that I tend to write is to do with like writing, or any videos that I tend to do, I can't even speak today. Most of the videos I tend to put on here are to do with writing, but that just seems to be what fits my channel now, so I thought today I would do the Authortube work in progress challenge or tag. I haven't done, like I said, I haven't done a tag like this since I was probably in university when I first started my channel. So it could be fun. I've got 10 questions. They are here in front of me, sort of on my left. If I look aside, that's why. I've watched a couple of people do this channel, this tag, and they're quite fun to watch, and they kind of get me inspired to write as well. So I thought it would be quite nice to also just do something a little bit different. So yeah. Question 1 is, what is the working title of your book? The project that I'm currently working on is actually the sequel to the manuscript that I have finished, recently finished, like editing and started sending out, and that is called A New Dawn for Melanie Hades. She is a main character in the first book, the main romance character, I suppose. That becomes very, very important. She's the daughter of Hades, obviously by her setting. She's the princess of the underworld, I suppose. And yeah, she's my big character. The first book runs with Heidi's point of view. That one's called The Unfortunate Ending of Heidi Gerard, and that's her story through purgatory and the underworld and her prophecy, etc. But this one focuses more on Mel's point of view, because she plays into the first book a lot, but it's mostly like Heidi's point of view. But this one is just kind of switched around and it's showing Mel's point of view more. So question 2 is, where did you get the idea for your book? Like I said, probably the continuation of the series. My series, or the ideas for all the characters that came around in the first book and in this one, are based on a lot of Greek mythology. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube about Greek myths and gods and goddesses, etc. I love everything to do with it. I always have since I was quite little, but I had an idea about a girl. This is the first book, about a girl who died when she was 16 and ends up in Purgatory House, and then Greek mythology and all these gods and everything just kind of came into the story from there, and that's how it kind of escalated, and now it's a big series with lots and lots of different gods and goddesses all being quite important parts of the story, including Mel and her family and everyone relating to that. Okay, so question 3 is, what genre is your work in progress? Mine is young adult fantasy fiction. You could say young adult supernatural fantasy, I suppose. Yeah, pretty big fantasy series or story. Question 4 is, choose the actors in your movie rendition. Now this is a hard one for me. I know what my characters look like, and especially my main characters, Heidi and Mel. It's an LGBT story, I should mention that in the beginning. For Heidi, I have an image of a singer in my head as well. There's a Transviolet, I think. She's got like bright pink hair. And Mel can be anyone, probably, like Zoe Deschanel, Kat Graham, and I think Kat Graham's a good one actually, but she's another singer. There's quite a few people that I have like good images in my head with my characters, but never quite fit it. But yeah, it's a bit more of a difficult question for me, because I never really base my characters on like actual people. But then sometimes, if like, say if I'm walking around in work or around the streets or whatever, I'll see someone that'll be like, oh, that's kind of how I'd imagine my character, and it's quite weird. Especially when you stare at people and they're just looking at you like, because they don't know that you're thinking that they look like your character. But yeah, that's quite a difficult one for me. If I think of any more, I'll put them in the box below, but we'll see. So question 5 is, one sentence synopsis of your book. this again was another bit of a difficult one for me. As I found through querying, both of my books are quite difficult to summarise because there's quite a lot of different things going on. Like, there's a lot of different characters that kind of go into it, but I suppose the main plot, I wrote out one. It's not one sentence, it's a little bit more than that, but I wrote one out last night for this one as I did a big outline for it. And that was, Melanie Hades was born to be the queen of her city, but after her attempted murder of her father in the first book, and the return of her power-hungry twin brother Arion, the respect she always had is taken away, and Melanie must stop her father from controlling the creature that holds the world together, Origin, and contorting its spiritual power to his own will, all while her new bride takes up her role as leader of the Council of Souls. Again, not a sentence, but quite a long one, but that's kind of the gist of it. Okay, so question 6, I keep saying chapter 6. Will your book be self-published or represented by an agency? Now, this is a big one. Obviously, with the first one, I said I've started submitting it to agents and I'm waiting on that, so hopefully traditionally published. That's always been my dream. It's still my dream. So hopefully one day, fingers crossed, it will happen. I had a personal response and a couple of form ones, but I've still got about 9 people left waiting. That is if I don't submit more, which I might do. I don't know. Question 7. How long did it take you to write the first draft? For the unfortunate ending, it took me about 6 months to write the first draft, which I thought was ready in January, but it wasn't. I very recently finished the main draft, which I've obviously began querying over the last couple of weeks, actually. Yeah. Okay, question 8. What other books would you compare your book to? I very recently actually finished Winter Song by S.J. Brooks. I've got that author name wrong, but S.J. Jones. Sorry, it's a bit of a different name. But that's sort of like a Persephone and Hades sort of inspired retelling. Labyrinth as well. Lots and lots of different tropes in that one, but kind of inspired by the underworld, and that story goes underground a lot. Probably also the Percy Jackson series, for the same reasons. Lots and lots of gods and goddesses in that one. Also Afterworlds, which is also LGBT, also features a death god, which my story does. Those are probably the ones that are the closest to my story. Question 9. Who or what inspired you to write the book? With the first book, again, it was just the kind of beginning of... I had this idea for a new story. I was in the middle of writing and editing another story, but I just had the idea to start writing a new one. It's the same with my other project, Gold Dress, which I'll be talking more about in NaNoWriMo this year. I started writing this new one and I got quite a lot done, like the first couple of chapters, I think, pretty quickly, and I was really excited about it, and I just kept writing, and then I was talking to my other half about it, and he was giving me more ideas, especially about all the Greek myths and gods and goddesses I could use, and the death god, and everything that can kind of come into this story, and I got really even more excited, and I just kept writing it, and I couldn't stop, and yeah, I basically just started writing the story, and then I couldn't stop myself, and I really made me enjoy it even more. So, not really much, but like I say, Greek mythology was a big thing into my story and in both books. So, the last question, what else about your work in progress might pique the reader's interest? Probably if people love Greek mythology again, then hopefully they'll enjoy my stories, because I've got a lot of gods and goddesses in my book, in my first book, and in the draft that I've got through on this current project. I've handwritten a lot of it, so I can't say exactly how many words, but I have got a fair way through it, and I outlined the rest of it last night. So I've got a fair way there. Yeah, if they love like Athena, Underworld, like exploring all these different places that are associated with the gods, like in this second book, like most of the first book is in the Underworld and Purgatory House, but book 2 is going to be in Olympus. It's going to be in all these big houses, like the House of Magic, the House of Silence, which are going to be like these different, like there'll be a House of Time, things, everything to do with like life and how the world works, and the Council of Souls and everything. There'll be the Council of Gods in this book. Just the way the world works and is organised that you don't always see when you're in the living world, you know. Very much like afterlife sort of story. So very, very fun, and hopefully very interesting to read as well when it's ready. Yeah, so that was my Authortube work in progress tag. I did ramble a little bit there, sorry, stumble over my words sometimes, but I really, really enjoy doing these videos, and I'd love to do more tags like this because they're a lot of fun. So yeah, say hello to Puppy if you like. Dusty, are you okay? He's had enough. Yeah, I'm probably going to do another like mini vlog video later, and then see what happens and try and update as much as I can. So yeah, I'll catch you in another video. Bye guys.